Welcome along to Ljubljana in Slovenia. Final day of the European Artistic Gymnastics Championships 2004. It's the individual apparatus finals. We're on to the fourth of the 6 finals here, the vault. And you can see the man who's dominated so far, Marian Dragulescu, who'll be the penultimate gymnast to go here, the all-around champion. And I can tell you it's been good news for him earlier on. We'll catch up with some of the other finals that we've had later on. We've already had the floor final, the pommel horse and the rings. But here we go with the vault. Simon Reed alongside Vince Walduck from the Heathrow Gymnastics Club watching this. And you can see absolutely packed out here. Terrific atmosphere.
The Romanians had such a successful weekend. They won at the European Championships in 2002 in Apparatus. They've repeated that team success on this occasion, and Dragulescu winning the floor exercise to add to his individual gold medal.
Dragulescu, the penultimate guy to go here. The final gymnast will be Leszek Blanik from Poland. The order is in reverse order from the way they qualified. They qualified from the team competition. The top 8 go through. Janev here will be first to go, as he qualified in 8th place.
That's right. His score to achieve this apparatus position, 9.3, and he'll be aiming to build on that. Each gymnast's got to show 2 different vaults from 2 different families, so 2 different styles of vaulting.
And it's the average of those 2 vaults that'll be your final mark.
That's correct.
So Janev here from Sofia, 22 years of age. His one final here on the final day.
These men are going to be sprinting down this vault run up at 8 to 9 meters per second. That's a fantastic start to this competition. The Yushchenko style vault with 2.5 twists, but not only that, I want you to note how high it is. He really manages to propel himself into the air off that sprung vaulting table.
So a high degree of difficulty.
Yeah, definitely. The judges will be evaluating that to check the start value, probably a 9.9 start value. That's his maximum score. But take a look at this push. Really is miles high.
So a little stagger at the end. Couldn't quite hold it. Be a deduction there.
Yeah, just a 0.1, maybe a 0.15.
So 9.612 for Janev.
So this time he can't use the Yushchenko style in the same way. He's got to opt for a different vault.
Second vault, Ljubljana, Bulgaria,
Same problem, and even more of a stagger.
So this time the Sukahara vault, first performed by the Japanese gymnast Mitsuo Sugahara in 1976, but this time with the same 2.5 twists. When Sugahara performed that, it was just 1 somersault and no twists.
Just within the tram lines.
Yeah, those tram lines give the judges a guide as to whether the gymnast has maintained that straight line position. But a big step, that's going to cost him at least 0.2.
Generally, will the gymnast do the most difficult vault second, or does it very much depend on the individual?
I think that's an individual choice. Certainly, they'll be wanting to get a steady vault in the bag, so possibly their most consistent vault first.
So 9.578, the final mark for him. That's not a bad start. Now, Martin Konečný, 19 years of age, from Prague in the Czech Republic. No.
So again, that's Sugahara with twist, but he didn't get enough push. He's got to maintain 1.5 somersaults off the handstand position. There he is, big push, half a somersault and another one while he's twisting, but not enough rotation. No chance there of landing on his feet.
That sinking feeling in every way for Konečný.
when you're doing these multiple twists, it slows down your somersault rotation. So the gymnasts have really got to use that snapping action to maximum effect.
Had a consistent time in the all-around yesterday. In the end, finished in 6th place, very creditable. Youngest guy in the top flight, 8.937. He'll want to go a lot better than that in his second vault.
That individual performance, certainly a great success for him and his country, who are rebuilding their senior team from recent years.
Those of you at home, I can tell you next to go will be Darren Gerard. And that's better, much better from Konechny. This time he can afford a smile.
Watch the round off or Arab Spring entry, cartwheels onto the springboard, back flips, pushes off, and a somersault with double twist. Those of you that vaulted at school will remember the vaulting horse. That's gone forever now. We have a vaulting table, a new scientifically designed piece of apparatus used by both the men and female gymnasts the same.
So 9.25 for his second vault, 9.093 the average. 2 judges set the tariff of difficulty, and then 6 others judge. The top and bottom of those go, and the other 4 averaged out. Now here is Darren Gerard, born in Newcastle, the City of Stoke club. 7th in the vault in Patras 2 years ago.
Darren's a very talented young man. Let's see if he can hold his composure and produce of his best. He's capable of great things. That'll certainly do. First vault, double Sugahara, but in the piked position.
Qualified in 6th place. Darren based at the Lilleshall National Centre.
Accurate landing, shoulders a little bit low, so a minor penalty, but it is one of the most difficult vaults we'll see today.
Just managed to hold it in. 9.637. Best so far. More of the same, and he'll stay in the lead.
Right, he needs a vault of equal complexity. Let's take a look if he can cope and build on that great start.
Not quite.
Yeah, it was a handspring double front, named after the Cuban gymnast Roche, but that landing not quite accurate enough to be threatening the leading gymnasts to follow.
Darren, the one gymnast in the senior competition, but good news earlier on in the day.
Yes.
We do have a European junior champion.
The Junior European Championships takes place at the same time as the senior competition for the under-18 gymnasts, those young men who are going to be the male stars of the future. And Louis Smith qualified for the pommel horse final, and we're delighted to tell you he was the winner. Gold medalist, coached by Paul Hall from Huntingdon Gym Club. Well done, Louis.
Very well done. And not good news for Darren then. 9.468 his overall mark, and it's Yanev who leads at the moment from Gerard. Now Jan Suciu, gold in the pommel already today. You'll see that later on.
A finalist in the Anaheim World Championships. Let's see if he can build on that achievement. Again, it's that Sugahara with 2.5 twists, but look at his legs. Very accurate and tight leg position.
Member of the Romanian team that got gold here as it did in Apparatus 2 years ago. Can he make it a second gold? Second individual gold for him. Already he's got 2 golds, a team gold and the gold on the pommel. Leading at the moment.
All these young men spend hours on the trampoline honing their aerial spatial awareness skills. Concentration.
Oh no.
Well, that's that handspring double front somersault, but his trampoline training didn't help him there. You do need just that tiny bit of luck to make the perfect landing, as much as you can repeat it and practice it thousands of times.
So there'll be no second goal today for Suciu. Looked as if he'd almost got the landing.
Just squeeze that tuck a tiny bit too much, and you've got to just judge that opening to perfection. Too much, you take a step forward and run off the mats. Too little, and you're sitting down.
Yes, 9.125, so overall 9.350. And it's still Janev who leads at the moment from Darren Gerard, Suciu in third. Next to go from Hungary. Already been in the vault, already been in one competition early on. Robert de Gaal, he was in the floor, finished 4th. 25 years of age, from Budapest. 4th in the World Championships in Amsterdam last year.
That's Sugihara again with twist, but his landing a little bit deep. That means his seat quite close to the mat, had to bend his legs to absorb all those forces, and the judges will be penalising for that position.
And it might also have been a little bit wide. Let's have a look at his outside foot here. Right smack on the line.
Yes, I think that might cost him a minor deduction. But he's on his feet, he's saved it. That at least means that there's no chance of the 5/10 penalty for a fall.
So 9.475, he needs to step it up here. So he's going to overtake Janev.
When the score comes up, if you see in the far left corner, the SV, that's the start value. That's the maximum tariff that the vault is worth.
That was better. Will it have done enough to take him into the lead?
Well, most of the gymnasts performing these same 2 vaults, the Sugihara and then the handspring double front, and that's one of the best landings we've seen so far. Big push. See the vault shake, he applies so much force. Shortens his moment of inertia into that tight tuck. But again, that's at least a 2/10 step.
So it's the Bulgarian who qualified in last place who leads at the moment. Only 3 more to go, so exciting times for Filip Janev.
For these gymnasts, this is their 3rd day of competition, so some of them perhaps suffering a little bit from tiredness.
So he drops down to 3rd. It's Janev who leads for Bulgaria. Gerard in 2nd place for Great Britain, so there's a chance of a medal. 3 to go. Here's Evgeny Sapronenko from Riga in Latvia. 2nd in the vault in the World Championships in Ghent in 2001, and indeed also 2nd in the Worlds in Tianjin in 1999.
Now that's the best vault we've seen so far. Named after Dragulescu. The double front somersault, but adds a twist as well. Take a look. Big push. Tight, tight tuck, and then extends with the half turn and lands with his centre of gravity high as well.
Just a little step outside at the end. But it did look enormous. So Sapronenko presumably will be the leader going into his second vault.
These gymnasts need to be strong, but explosiveness is the key.
So a similar vault will give him a medal of some description.
Not perfect, but it may well be enough. I think that's definitely enough to put him in the medal frame. That double pike Sugihara that we saw from Darren. Not quite as high, but quite an accurate landing with just that minor step penalty.
25 years of age from Riga, married with a young son. Obviously a very strong devotee to his training.
It's quite incredible to think that this Sugihara vault, with just one of those somersaults, was performed for the first time almost 30 years ago.
Yes, in the lead he goes. Sapronenko leads at the moment. Two very consistent vaults. So he leads, Yanev in second place, Gerard drops down to third, 2 to go. Here is the man, the overall European champion here. Already gold medalist on the floor, bidding for his third gold medal. Marian Dragulescu of Romania, 23 years of age.
He's like a gymnastics superman of vaulting. God has a vault named after him. Silver medalist in the World Championships last year in the States. Let's take a look.
Oh, how about that? Absolute perfection from Dragulescu.
He's just like a human cannonball. He pops off the top of that vault, climbs into the sky, and comes down and nails it with perfection. Look at this push. 3 meters up, 3 somersaults, still manages to land without a murmur.
Bidding for his 4th gold here, because he got the team gold on Friday. All around yesterday, floor gold already today.
Well, we haven't seen a 10 for a long time, but I'd certainly be wanting to see those judges get near that.
Very near, 9.875, so he's got some comfort as far as the first place is concerned at the moment, but still Leszek Planek to go for Poland, qualified in first place. But he could put it out of his reach with anything like his first vault here. He looks pretty eager.
He coped with the pressure in the all-around competition, so I think he can do it here.
Just a step forward, but it looks good enough. And it looks as if Dragulescu is going to be right at the top of the podium once more.
Well, let's see whether Planek can threaten him, but as you say, it looks like he's going home with 4 gold medals in his bag. I think he'll certainly be chuffed with that weekend's work.
to put it into perspective, in qualifying, Dragulescu scored 9.643, Blahnik 9.706, but I think he's going to have to go better than 9.706.
That's right, so Blahnik qualified above him, but he's certainly going to have to pull it out.
Qualifying score, just to reiterate, doesn't count, only counts in the fact that if you qualify first, you start last. 9.756 for Dragulescu. It's going to need something absolutely extraordinary from Blahnik if he's going to overtake him.
No, I think those judges were mean on that first vault. We could have had a sensation to had a 10 or even a 9.95.
So here is Leszek Blahnik, 27 years of age, 6th in the vault in Ghent in the World Championships in 2001, bronze in Sydney in the vault in the Olympic Games 4 years ago. He's going to need that kind of form and more to take gold here.
So as you say, he's clearly a vaulter of pedigree. Let's have a look what he can pull out.
Whoa. Looks so good. Step back at the end, spoilt the overall impression, but it was mighty.
But he's the only gymnast in the world to perform that vault. The handspring, a double front, but it's in the piked position. There it is. Half a somersault and 2.5 to follow, squeezing those legs tight in. A little tuck in that last one, and a little whiplash. Wasn't quite ready for the floor.
Doesn't mean that Dragulescu's very nearly home. Looks like there might be some kind of problem to his right leg, but certainly didn't seem it in the way he performed in his first vault. Yeah. 9.712, not bad at all. He's close, that's for sure. Second place, but he's within striking distance of Dragulescu. Remember, Dragulescu's second vault not as good as his first.
You've got to be so tough in this sport, and ankles take such a pounding. But he's psyched. He'd prefer gold, but I'm sure he'll be delighted with a lesser medal.
So this is it then for Leszek Blahnik. No, out as well as stumbling long, and that's not going to be good enough. And Dragulescu knows he's got it again. What an afternoon it is for him, and it looks like there is a problem there with the leg of Blahnik.
Well, this is a credit to Blahnik. He's done a superb second vault, just not quite enough to challenge Dragulescu, but he is the best in the world, Dragulescu, so it was a tall order. Poland not had medals in recent years, so if he can stay in the top 3, that will still be a fantastic achievement for their country.
Looks like he's nailed in probably for second place. It might be third. It's third in the end. It's Sapronenko who'll take second place for Latvia, and Blahnik will be third. And Dragulescu, his day is over. He's not in the last 2 finals, the parallel bars and the high bar, but what a meeting it's been for him. 4 gold medals all around, 2 individuals and the team. And he's going to be some star for us to watch here on British Eurosport and Eurosport International in the Olympics in Athens.
Absolutely. The Romanians set their target to win the team and then repeat that excellent team performance in Athens.
And well done, Darren Gerard. 5th place for him, but it's bronze for Poland with Blahnik, silver for Latvia with Evgeny Sapronenko, and the majestic Marian Dragulescu takes gold for Romania. Well, that was something else, and Romania have a chance of another gold in the parallel bars coming right up. We'll take a break. You'll be back with us in Slovenia after this. 4 of the 6 apparatus finals. We're going to go now to see some of the highlights and the medal performances from earlier on today. We start with the floor, and here's the performance that won the silver medal, and it's Bulgaria's Jordan Ljubchev.
This young man, a grand master, represented Bulgaria for so many years now, based in Houston in the States with his wife and son. Those combination tumbling runs with twists, finishing with that 1 3/4 somersault, all build up to get that 5/10 bonus. Comes back with that straight Thomas roll out. And these flares into the Gogolazzi. Look how wide his legs are, showing off his amplitude to the judges. Russian turns and the most beautiful side splits, just to show you I can be strong and majestically flexible. A simple dive roll, but with such lightness. And you gymnasts out there, look at that for a side leg lift. It's all about sticking this last tumble.
Really good. But it wasn't good enough to get him on the top of the podium. So close. It was silver for the man who's won World Championship gold on rings and floor in Anaheim and in Ghent back in 2001.
Back somersault with 1 1/2 twists, front somersault with full twist, immediately rebounding into that 1 3/4 somersault.
In addition to the golds at Anaheim and Ghent in Worlds, he got Olympic bronze on the floor and on rings as well, heading to his 4th Olympics in Athens.
Yes, at this European Championships he didn't compete on pommel horse and high bar, so wasn't in the all-around competition.
So Ljubchev moving into the lead at that particular time, but there was one better, and it was this guy. And here it is, Marian Dragulescu. Already, remember, he'd won the all-around competition. He was member of the team of Romania that won the world title, the European title rather. Here he is going for his 3rd gold.
The all-round success here will give him so much confidence for Athens. Double straight, rebounding immediately into that front somersault. You've got to have legs with springs in them to cope with that. Unusual run, double twist. Another front somersault, and then one with 1 1/2 twists, so showing complete combination and variety in his twisting. Good flares, but not quite the amplitude of Ljubchev. Hold the handstand, show the judges that control. Watch this big dismount. 2 somersaults, 2 twists. Superbly landed.
Just terrific. Ljubchev had set the standard, but Dragulescu was to equal and raise the mark.
There's that double straight, rebounding immediately into that front somersault to the front support.
He really did look like he had springs in his feet.
Those Achilles tendons have got to be so strong, tensile steel, to cope with that massive landing force.
So Dragulescu 9.775, edging in front of Georgiev. Third was Rafael Martinez of Spain. Now we move to the pommel horse, and here's Ion Suciu from Romania. Gold in the pommel here with this amazing performance. Silver in the pommel 2 years ago in European Championships, but this was the performance that took him to the top of the podium.
Magyar walk, forwards and then backwards, called the Shavado, and now he circles on one hand, one handle, those called Stockley turns, and then a Russian. Look how high those legs are swinging in that single leg work. More circles on one handle, turning around at the same time. Stockley out, pirouette, and that was good enough.
Yes, the leader at that stage was Alberto Busnari from Italy. Christian Berki from Hungary had set the mark earlier on, 9.7. Busnari went up to 9.712, but this from Suciu was to go even better.
The standard of pommel horse work was truly magnificent in this final.
In the end, there's confirmation, just 1/10 of a mark between all the 8 gymnasts who qualified for the final. So now we go to the rings, and Demosthenes Tampakos for Greece. At this stage, Matteo Morandi led for Italy.
Yuri Keki, who was world and Olympic champion on so many occasions, has come back for this competition, but his routine so far wasn't enough to put him in the medals.
Joint first place for Tampakos in the Worlds last year in Anaheim.
Starts with that Azarian cross, circles to Maltese, back to inverted cross. Look at the height of those shoulders, perfect position. Into the front giant swing. Building up for his dismount, double straight, spotted with perfection.
Silver medalist in the Olympics 4 years ago, and can you imagine the weight of expectation that's going to be on his shoulders come August?
And he seems to perform these strength skills with ease, hardly a flicker.
In the prime of his life, and maybe it's going to be the year of his life, 27 years of age. Demosthenes Tampakos.
Good to see so many nations, different nations, in these apparatus finals, and countries like Greece building on their gymnastic reputation.
Super dismount, and it was enough to take him into the lead. 9.775. Just one to go. The man from Russia who qualified in first place, Alexander Safoshkin.
Russian team had a disappointing performance in the team competition, only coming 4th, and Safoshkin competed on 3 apparatus.
So 9.775. He knows it's got to be absolutely outstanding to overtake Tampakos.
Immensely strong. That's the 3rd strength skill. There it is, Nakayama, named after the Japanese gymnast. Straight arms as he presses to handstand.
Well, there would have been agonising moments after that for Safoshkin. Had he done enough to take the Greek out of the gold medal? In the end, it could not have been closer.
And Arkayev, the great Russian coach, who hasn't been present on the floor at this event, was delighted for his protege to finally pick up the gold medal they'd been searching for.
Yes, it's been a desperate time for Russia. Out of the team medals, almost unthinkable.
There's that double straight somersault, throws the rings away, arms ready for a perfect landing.
So 9.775, joint gold medal for Safoshkin and Tambakas. And here, the podium for the rings. A very proud Demosthenes Tambakas and Alexander Safoshkin.
"35 nations participating in these European Championships. To give you an indication of the amount of interest, it's being beamed around the world to 70 million people.
And Dragulescu taking the top of the podium on the vault, and we now move to the parallel bars. No Dragulescu here, but we do have a key Romanian in Marius Daniel Ozica. The man who qualified in first place is from Slovenia, Mitja Petkovce.
Ozica was the favourite for the pommel horse final, but he was unable to do his routine in the way we're accomplished to seeing him. And all the hopes on the Slovenian to bring a gold medal to the home country.
There he is. He'll be last to go, having qualified in first place. He qualified with 9.787, and that's given him last spot, and last spot has generally been successful in these individual apparatus finals. This is a new dimension this year of the best, as we'd say, the top qualifiers going last. It used to be drawn.
It used to be drawn out of a hat, so you could be the leading gymnast and performing first. So to keep the excitement, they've changed that and allowed them to work in reverse order.
So from left to right, Thomas Andergassen from Germany, Denis Savenkov from Belarus, Nikolai Krukov from Russia, Jan Kuchera from France, Valery Goncharov from Ukraine, Marius Zika from Romania, Roman Zuzulia from the Ukraine, and then Mitja Petkovce. Andergassen, 24 years of age, from Stuttgart, 11th in the all-round. Denis Savenkov was 8th on the floor. And 5th on the parallel bars. Nikolai Krukov, already been in one final, was 5th in the pommel horse, 15th in the all-around yesterday. First final, only final for Jan Kuchera, 24-year-old from Lyon in France. Valery Goncharov, 26 years of age, also in the high bar final later on. Marius Zika, 8th and last in the pommel horse. And listen to this after this one. 4th in the all-around. Roman Zuzulia, 6th in the rings earlier on. Stand by for liftoff. 27 years of age. Second 2 years ago in Patras in the European Championships, but they expect more than second this time around.
He's been in this position before and had results. He took a silver medal at the World Championships in Debrecen in Hungary in 2002, so he can certainly do parallel bar exercises of gold medal caliber.
So there's confirmation of the order. Anagarsin, Savenkov, Krukov, Kucherov, Goncharov from the Ukraine, Azika for Romania, Zuzulia from the Ukraine, and finally Petkovzek for Slovenia. And you can hear the chants roared out here by the crowd.
Well, I hope he can cope with that pressure, because I certainly couldn't. It must be absolutely nerve-wracking for him. Thousands of people behind him expecting and hoping for that magical performance.
There's the jury. Just to recap, 2 who set the tariff of difficulty, and then the B judges, those that will actually give the mark. The top and bottom are discarded, an average of the other 4. Take us through what's going on in the warm-up here. What are the hopes and expectations as they go into the warm-up? What can they do?
Each gymnast has a 30-second swinging warm-up, and they can elect to do whatever they prefer. For some it might be half an exercise or possibly more. For others it'll just be relaxing their shoulders and feeling the swing timing. The parallel bar's made of laminated timber with fiberglass, and most suited to gymnasts who are more linear. Rings for the strong ox muscular gymnasts, and the floor and vault disciplines for the kangaroo type springy gymnast. But it's pommels, parallels and high bar that the gymnasts with the best swing technique can excel at.
All eyes on Petkovzek. Slovenians have also got the top qualifier in the high bar later to come. We may not have time to show you that on the British Eurosport. Alias Pagan will be last to go in the high bar for Slovenia. But it's been Romania's tournament so far, 5 gold medals. Can they make it 6 here?
Just to go to the junior competition, we'll briefly mention the other finalists. Gordon Martin finished 5th position from the Central Manchester club, coached by Colin Lee, and Adam Cox on the vault, who had such a creditable all-around performance, finished in 8th position in the vault apparatus final from Alloa.
And that with the gold as well augurs very well for the future of British gymnastics.
A fantastic achievement for Louis Smith and his coach. But of course the big test is whether the club, the country, the coach can keep these gymnasts involved and look after every aspect of their life so that they are performing in 10 years' time as senior men. Average age in this competition, 26, 27. We're seeing more and more senior gymnasts, some competing in their 30s and even older.
And the reason for that is that people, obviously, better diet, better fitness routines, people can stay right at the top of their condition for longer.
That's right, and it's also this concept of becoming an apparatus specialist. So men perform on the 6 apparatus, and towards the end of their career, some are electing to just train and perform and compete on their strengths, which might be perhaps just rings or a floor and vault and perhaps one other apparatus. So it just takes the stress off training and the repetitions that are required.
In other sports, it's the same format really, that the top guys are going on longer. Most of the reason for that is financial, added to the ones we've been talking about, better training regimes, better diet. But it's finance that's making the drive forward. Here there are financial incentives,
Absolutely, yes. The major competitions now, their prize money is provided, there is in this competition. So it can be a good living for some of these gymnasts, where previously it was an amateur sport and they had to consider earning a living at some point in their sporting existence.
And lifestyle too is pretty impressive for guys like Suciu and, well, particularly of course for Dragulescu.
Yeah, you'd certainly expect him to be having some privileges. At least one of his hobbies as fast cars, and it wouldn't surprise me if he's got a Lamborghini sitting outside his flat after this performance.
Zika has had a disappointing time so far today, last place in the pommel. That'll hurt, that kind of experience. He was last to go, he was the top qualifier, didn't make it onto the podium, far from it. In fact, not that far from it, because we said only a tenth of a mark between all 8 of them.
I don't think he'll have lost his confidence. An apparatus medal would always have crowned the weekend, but most important for them was the team competition, and he's obviously a crucial part of that and their Athens challenge. And of course the all-around winner at the last Europeans, Dan Potra, only participated on one apparatus, we think due to an ankle injury. So when he's back at peak fitness, the Romanian team really is going to be threatening the Chinese and Americans.
Yes, for those who weren't watching, Romania took the team gold on Friday. Second were Belarus, helped by Savenkov, who we're going to see second up here, and France were third. Wonderful achievement for France.
A brilliant achievement to see a West European country in the medal, the team medals.
So just the final moments of preparation. You can see Andergassen there, ready to go. Zazulia makes his final adjustments.
If you look at the body shape of Zazulia, you can see what I was saying. A very linear gymnast, relatively small shoulder girdle, so he can swing and extend into those beautiful handstand positions. Of course he needs that strength to have that control, but he'll have been practicing these skills and the perfect basics that he has for all those years, almost since 5. The parallel bars are adjustable for the width according to the size of your shoulders. You can see the coach there measuring, and they are allowed to use sugar water to improve their grip, because there are immense forces on the hands when they do these somersaulting and circling skills.
So they warm up in the order that they're going to compete. Last to warm up and last to compete will be Petkuzek.
Just saw a flash of that young man's hands, and as you can imagine, the amount of friction that these gymnasts sustain means that their hands are extremely calloused and thick-skinned. The ladies that hold the hands of these gymnasts certainly wouldn't want to have those themselves.
His body language is good. Looks relaxed.
These gymnasts training 30 hours a week, most of them. Almost becomes a full-time job, and needing the very best diet, facilities and technical guidance from their coach.
A lovely way for him to finish, Petkuzek, and I guess a good warm-up doesn't necessarily mean a good routine. Sometimes it can mean the opposite, but it doesn't do you any harm.
Well, psychologically it can just a little timber spacer there for exact measurement. Psychologically a good warm-up, or certainly a confident warm-up, can give you that little edge in believing that you can do the routine under pressure.
So just to confirm then, it'll be Andergassen first for Germany, then Savenkov for Belarus, Krukov for Russia, Kucherov for France, Goncharov for the Ukraine, the first of the Ukrainians, then Marius Ozika from Romania, then Roman Zazulia from the Ukraine, and finally it'll be Petkovzek for Slovenia.
Deep in meditation, doing a bit of mental rehearsal there, closing his eyes and going through that routine in his brain.
Just to give you some idea of how they qualified and the closeness of the qualification. Andergassen here qualified in last place, but he got 9.512. Petkovzek 9.787, qualified in first place. So here is Thomas Andergassen for Germany.
A simple upstart to the half lever position, one of the special requirements to show the judges, and that's the skill that he came to grief on. There it is again, the under somersault with full turn. Giant into double somersault, having to use a bit of muscles to get himself out of trouble there. Full pirouette into the Straley, that's an interesting combination. And dismounting with that double pike skill, the D somersault dismount.
And for those at home who are a little surprised that music's played at a European Championships as background, we're pretty sure that it's not that disconcerting for the gymnasts themselves.
No, we were certainly surprised that the background music is in place, but I guess most of these young men are used to having hip-hop as the background for their training, so perhaps they're finding it just taking off the edge of the pressure of silence.
Fifth of the pommel, is he going to go better? 9.50, not quite as good as his qualification mark, but that sets the standard.
First score on bars, 9.
Here, Denis Savenkov, bronze medalist in the all-around, came with a big rush at the end of that competition. 8th in the floor earlier on this afternoon, and 5th. No, this is second event.
The coach jumps down. It's down to you. No one else can help him now except himself.
Denis Savenko, Belarus.
Those elasticated upper armbands there just to give a little bit of protection to the biceps when they do the multiple in-bar somersaults.
Just 20 years of age, from Gomel in Belarus then, Denis Savenkov.
Beautiful extension on that glide. Pirouettes into the bars. Straight arm under somersault into the piked bella, that double back somersault. Couple of little steps, that's a minor penalty. And the double back somersault from upper arms this time. Diamondov and Healy combinations. Beautiful foot extension.
Not a perfect dismount, but it will do. Yes, Savenkov was in fact 5th in the pommel, so this is his 3rd routine in the individual apparatus finals, the only gymnast who is in the 3 finals.
Look how flexible the gymnast needs to be able to lift the hips above the hands and fold the feet forward. From the side handstand into that Healy turn. Such shoulder flexibility.
The balance seemed perfect. No, not in front of Andergassen. Somewhat of a surprise. The marks ranging from 9.35 up to 9.6. Remember, it's the average of the 4 middle marks that will count. But it's Andergassen who leads at the moment. And here is the Russian, Nikolai Krukov. Already 5th in the pommel horse. Bronze medalist in the pommel in the World Championships in Anaheim in 2003 and Ghent 2001.
This man was world champion in Tianjin in China, surprised everyone, but has had a disaster at this European Championships. Showed moments of brilliance in the all-around competition, but moments of total disaster with 2 falls. And that was on one apparatus.
Here's a 20-year-old. He won the world title, but since then he's not been able to match anything like that kind of performance. What can he do here? Needs a pick-me-up. Andergassen leads at the moment for Germany. 9.5 to beat.
Gymnasts have to show the ability to work on one rail. They can either do that in the middle of the exercise or at the beginning. Beautiful straight arm under somersault, such a master. There again with half turn. And that's a skill he failed on. Beautiful giant into the Diamondov action by Bilet Serchev.
Boy, does he look sharp this afternoon.
This is more like the work we're used to seeing from Krukov.
Oh yes, real class. Nikolai Krukov surely goes into the lead. Still 5 to go, but he's got a real medal chance after that performance.
I think that was at his best, and what we expect of him. He is a gymnast who is world class, and these Russians have such a pedigree and such a perfection of basics and technique.
I guess winning in Tianjin back in '99 could have been a double-edged sword, really. It put a lot of expectation, made him the focus of attention.
Well, possibly, but one doesn't know. He looks a younger man than he is. At 25, he's been on the world circuit for quite a while, so you'd have expected him to take that in his stride. Brilliant landing.
I'm a little surprised the marks are as low as that. He is in first place, 9.675, I don't know, possibly undermarked.
I think that's a fair score. There was a little hop on the dismount and just a couple of minor areas of adjustment in the routine.
So here's part of the team that won the bronze medal in the team competition for France a couple of days ago. 24-year-old from Lyon, Jan Kuchera. 16th in the all-around in Sydney. Haven't heard a lot of him since then, but we could hear a lot more of him in the next few minutes.
Fantastic team performance by France. Let's see if they can add to that with some individual medals. There's that under somersault with half turn, and that's an original move. Shows the inlocate position in handstand. Pirouettes out onto the end of the bars. There's the Tippelt skill, formed by the East German gymnast. Heavy turns. And that's a little weak, that combination.
Sold it well. Just a little falter towards the end, but we shall see. Qualified in 5th place with 9.612. I would imagine it would be the same sort of score.
You'd have expected so, but parallel bars seem to be the apparatus that had the most mistakes in the all-around competition. Take a look at this. Under somersault, drops in, pulls the bars back. There it is. There's that dislocate inverted position. That's a unique skill for him. The judges will be giving that an E rating. That's the most difficult. The A skills are the rolls and the backflips that some of you might remember performing. B skills are somersaults. C skills are with twists. D are the complex skills like that double back dismount, and then we have E skills, which are even more complex.
It's good enough to take the lead for Kuchera. So Krukov perhaps a little disappointed with that, but it is Kuchera who takes the lead. Krukov second, and at the moment it's Andergassen third for Germany. And here's the first of the two from the Ukraine. This is Valery Goncharov. Also, he's in the high bar final to come. Seventh in the vault back in '97, in the World Championships in Lausanne. 26 years of age. Qualified here in the parallel bars in fourth place.
Note how high the parallel bars are. Almost half a metre above his shoulder height. Beautiful shape. Look at that straight back handstand. Such balletic foot point. That's certainly going to be in the running for a medal.
Outstanding landing. Not a murmur with the feet once he landed. And this could be a very big end of the afternoon for Goncharov. He's qualified in second place in the high bar. It was absolutely spectacular.
You can see the force as those somersaults are completed on the upper arms. The Ukraine team really missing the presence of the captain, Beresh, who unfortunately died in a car accident. And those of you that didn't see the all-around competition, there was a memorial silence to show the respect for that great gymnast.
He's got there, 9.725, the narrowest of margins. Remember, 9.712 was Kuchera's mark, so we are going upwards all the time. 3 to go. But he's got a very good chance of a medal with 9.725 as Goncharov. Now, can Ozika put the disappointment of his pommel routine behind him?
What's so incredible about the Romanians, whether it's their male or their female team, is this is a country of only 23 million people, a sixth of the size of Russia, and yet they consistently perform and produce world Olympic champions at every age group and in every discipline.
This very much his second best routine. Pommel is where he's made his mark right away around the world. He won the gold at the Europeans a couple of years ago, gold at Sydney in the Olympics, 2 World Championship gold medals in 2001 and 2002. But here, we'll see what he can do on the parallel bars. This is his favourite discipline is the high bar. But it's on pommels that he's been incomparable. 28 years of age from Bucharest. Marius Ozika.
There's that Bella giant to double back somersault, but not only performed with style, but with immense height. Stood to one bar, heelys back in, and that's a skill that's unique to him, but he's got to cover up. Front somersault with full twist. There's just that a little moment of correction that the judges will see.
Yes, it was going so well. And to the untrained eye, it may have seemed that there wasn't too much of a problem, but the judges will be on to that.
He was asked why he's so successful on the pommel horse and the parallel bars, and he answered that he had a high bar injury that affected his ankle. There it is, that front somersault with twist. He had an ankle injury that forced him to spend endless hours on the pommel horse, so that was how he maximised his time during that injury period.
Well, it certainly paid off. It's going to be very close indeed. But Goncharov leads for the Ukraine at the moment. No, not to be for Ozika. He shakes his head, he knows. The mistake towards the end of the programme proved crucial. And no medal for him. And that's the end of Romania's challenge. They haven't got a competitor, believe it or not, in the high bar. But it's hardly bad, is it? 5 goals. So 2 to go. 1 from the Ukraine, 1 from the home nation. Here's the young man, 24 years of age, who qualified in 2nd place, 4th in the all-around, 6th in the rings earlier on today. Can he get a medal here? Roman Zuzulia.
He's got a baby face, but he's had some experience, made the ring final at Sydney. Simple start, uprise to back straddle, settling down in handstand. There's the under somersault, fires it out to handstand. Double somersault, reverse pirouette back into the middle. There's that second double back called the Morisui after the great Japanese gymnast. And another somersault, this time the forward somersault with a straddle position. Stick.
Oh, did he just? What an outstanding routine from Roman Zuzulia.
Bursting with difficulty, but generally, as you said earlier, the trend has been for the scores to rise as the gymnasts compete through their working order.
A little shot of Valery Goncharov, who leads at the moment. I don't think he'll be leading after this.
Well, it'll be tight, I think. All the pressure now on the Slovenian. Can he raise his game in front of the home crowd?
Looked to be performing with so much within himself. And look at that, absolutely nailed it. 9.775. It's the Ukraine 1st and 2nd at the moment. Zuzulia leads, Goncharov in 2nd place, Kuchera is 3rd for France with 1 to go, and they can't wait.
You saw Krukov congratulating him there, and Krukov has such a reputation of being a gentleman and a sportsman.
So here we go then, the 27-year-old from this very city of Ljubljana, 2nd in Apparatus 2 years ago, 5th in the Worlds in Lausanne back in 1997, 8th last year in Anaheim, but with so much support behind him. Mitka Petkovsa.
Well, he's got the flashiest leotard. Let's hope he's got the flashiest routine. The crowd are going to go crazy if he can perform at his best. Beautiful technique. Holds that handstand. Just one little step in handstand so far. Miles high front somersault. Back straddles out onto the end of the bars. There's that tip belt skill. lifts off the bars. Fantastic routine, but I don't think it's enough.
Just a step back at the end. Did it have the same degree of difficulty of Zuzulia?
The same level of difficulty, but the difference at the top is only going to be hundredths of a point. So accuracy and perfection on every skill matters.
Could the judges be affected by the noise around the arena here?
I think they could be, but there were two tiny little errors there, and maybe he could have got away with one, and a bit of emotion could have carried them. But I don't think that's enough, unfortunately. There it was, that little step in handstand, a 0.1 penalty. But it's happened before. There's nothing like a homegrown gymnast succeeding when it's actually in your own country.
Now then, here's the moment of truth. 9.775 is the score to beat. No, it's not enough. He's not even on the podium. 9.537. You can hear how it's been greeted here. But it is the Ukraine first and second. And I think France are going to get another medal with Kushera. But well done to Roman Zuzulia, who has won the gold here.
I think that was the right decision. The gymnastic coaches watching at home will recognise the technique and precision of the Ukraine gymnast was absolutely superb.
Savenkov adding his congratulations as well. Not been a great competition for the Ukraine for obvious reasons, but that will do them a power of good. Zuzulia, the champion, Goncharov takes second, and Jan Kuchera. Yes, France get another medal, a second medal here.
Certainly a great weekend for French gymnastics. In the junior competition, the Russians had the top two junior gymnasts, so promising for the future for them, but it'll be some years before they're established seniors.
Well, I'm afraid we're not going to have time for the high bar routine, but I hope you've enjoyed our coverage over the last 3 days. My thanks to Vince Walnut. We'll be with the women in a couple of weeks' time, the European Championships from Amsterdam, and of course we'll bring you all the Olympics from Athens. But from Vince and myself, goodbye from Slovenia.